Hi, my loves. Welcome back. Today, we're diving into a powerful and sensitive tarot reading focused on the orange one and the energy surrounding him for the remainder of 2025. We'll be looking at his current spiritual and mental state, whether he's truly in control, and what his long term trajectory may be spiritually, politically, and karmically. Before we begin, please remember that this session is offered for entertainment purposes and spiritual insight only. Everything stated is alleged. Always trust your own intuition above all else. Take only what resonates with your heart and lovingly leave the rest. If you're looking for personal answers to your own questions, I offer private tarot and pendulum sessions through my Etsy shop. The link is in the pinned comment below and in the video description. Let's begin. Spirit, what is the current spiritual and energetic state of the orange one at this point in 2025? We received the Three of Swords upright, Ten of Swords upright, and the Eight of Swords upright. We begin this reading with a triad that screams collapse from the inside out. Spirit is not holding back. The energetic signature surrounding the orange one right now is one of emotional devastation, energetic depletion, and psychological paralysis. This is not the image of a man in power. This is the energy of someone either post-collapse or on the verge of it, but still strapped in the illusion of control. At the spiritual core, we're looking at a profound heartbreak. This doesn't feel romantic. It feels like betrayal from within the ranks. Someone close has either turned disappointed or revealed themselves as a threat. There's a shattering of loyalty here. His heart space, what little remains of it, is fractured. If he still holds on to any sense of legacy or mission, it's currently being pierced by the very people or structures that he once trusted. The Ten of Swords upright is the card of energetic annihilation. It doesn't whisper defeat, it screams it. The Ten of Swords paints the picture of someone who has been utterly taken down, often by their own ego or refusal to listen. There's something final about this card. Whether his death is metaphorical, political, or physical, the vibration here is irreversible damage. The swords in his back didn't come from enemies alone. Some were self-inflicted, and Spirit is showing a collapse that was both earned and inevitable. Spirit wraps this energy in the mental prison of the Eight of Swords. He's stuck, not physically perhaps, but spiritually and psychologically. He's trapped in a reality that he can't bend, surrounded by consequences that he can't escape. This is self-imposed exile in some ways, a refusal to see clearly, a mind that has built its own jail, locked itself inside, and swallowed the key. Spirit is showing the limits of illusion and manipulation closing in. Right now, the energy surrounding the orange one is crushing. Spirit shows someone spiritually broken, emotionally betrayed, and mentally trapped. He's surrounded by the very consequences that he once outran, and this time there's no one left to take the fall for him. The collapse has already begun, whether the world sees it yet or not, and spiritually, the House of Cards is no longer standing. Spirit, is the orange one currently experiencing serious cognitive decline or neurological impairment? The Magician reversed, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and the Chariot upright. The Magician reversed is a card that screams of loss of coherence. Reversed, the Magician becomes someone who once knew how to control the stage, but now fumbles the script. It's the sign of a mind that once held immense command, but is now losing its grip. The tools are still on the table, but he's not using them properly, either because he can't or because someone else has taken over the performance. There's a disturbing emptiness behind the curtain, and energetically, this points to severe mental deterioration, misfiring cognition, and possibly dissociation from reality. And it's paired with the Knight of Pentacles reversed. This is someone who used to be strategic and deliberate, but now they're running on fumes. This isn't just physical exhaustion, it's mental decline, rigid thinking, and inability to keep pace. This knight no longer rides forward with intention. Instead, he's stuck, maybe even being propped up by others, because his system just won't cooperate anymore. Together with the reverse magician, this makes me feel like there's a neurological compromise. Maybe it's linked to the aftermath of a stroke, medication fog, or even early dementia. His cognition is slowed, his thoughts are disconnected from reality, and he's no longer making decisions with clarity. And here's the twist: he's still moved forward. The chariot upright means that there's momentum in motion, but it might not be driven by him. This could signify his team or inner circle keeping the show going despite his inner decline. The body is in the car, but someone else might be steering behind the scenes. It also reflects public illusion. To the outside world, he may appear on the move, energetic and fighting his battles, but behind the scenes, the decline is stark and worsening. The contrast between how things look and what they actually are is very sharp here. Spirit is drawing a line between the illusion of vitality and the reality of his decay. With these cards, Spirit is clearly showing signs of neurological impairment and cognitive decline. His mind is fragmented, clarity is gone, and something vital has been lost, either through illness, a stroke, or spiritual consequences. What we see is the shell of a leader being moved by external forces to maintain the illusion of control. This isn't just physical illness, this is mental unraveling, masked by carefully staged appearances and strategic silence. His soul is trapped, his mind is dimming, and the machinery around him is pushing forward, but it's not his hand on the wheel anymore. Spirit, who or what is currently responsible for directing the Orange One's public-facing role and political momentum? We receive the Knight of Cups upright and the Four of Pentacles upright. This pairing is striking. We're seeing two faces of the puppet master energy behind the Orange One's continued public presence. The Knight of Cups reveals that much of the direction around him is being orchestrated. It's being done by a figure or a collective force that operates through persuasion, not dominance. Think emotional manipulative messaging, carefully scripted PR moves, or a spokesperson-like figure who speaks on behalf of him or for him when needed. This could point to campaign managers, image handlers, or those responsible for ensuring that he remains emotionally palatable to his base. They aren't brute force strategists, they're narrative crafters. Meanwhile, the Four of Pentacles tells us that the true source of control is far more rigid and defensive than the Knight implies. This is a power-hungry entity or network that's clinging tightly to the Orange One as a symbol, a figurehead that they refuse to release because he still holds value. Whether that value is financial, energetic, or symbolic, they're not letting go, even if he's falling apart internally. Together, the cards suggest two-tiered control systems. One part is operating emotionally, a soft, manipulative front, crafted speeches, curated videos, and loyal surrogates. The other clutches the reins with fear and greed. This could be donors, financial power brokers, or a deeply entrenched ideological machine afraid of losing their last card to play. The energy here feels like he's being managed, not led. He's not the one charging forward. He's being pushed, guarded, and polished like a valuable but crumbling statue. With these cards, Spirit is showing us that the Orange One's momentum isn't self-driven. It's being orchestrated by persuasive public handlers and a controlled force that's afraid of losing its grip on the last piece of its empire. He's a vessel that's being steered, not the one holding the wheel. Spirit, how is the illusion of his functionality being maintained? What tools or methods are being used to make him appear capable and coherent? We receive the Empress reversed, Seven of Swords upright, and the Two of Swords upright. This spread exposes the machinery behind the mask. and it is chilling in its precision. The Empress reverse is telling us that the performance that we're seeing is hollow. There is no authentic life force behind the orange one's public image. It's being propped up, polished, and artificially sustained. This card suggests the facade of vitality, where optics are more important than reality. This is makeup, lighting, digital touch ups, carefully orchestrated public moments, and none of it is real. His image is being manufactured. The Seven of Swords confirms our deepest suspicions. Deception is not just a tactic, it's the primary operating system. His team or handlers are engaging in deliberate, stealthy manipulation, and this could look like deepfake technology or video edits, scripting public moments, and carefully crafted appearances meant to sell the illusion of energy or cognitive presence. We're not watching a man act, we're watching a stage play that's choreographed in the shadows. And then we receive the Two of Swords, the spell of willful ignorance. The illusion is not only maintained by the puppet masters, but kept alive by those who refuse to look closer. The public is being kept in a state of suspended disbelief. This is about media censorship, selective camera angles, and the audience choosing not to question what's being shown because the truth would be too disruptive to accept. Together, the cards are telling us that the illusion of his coherence is being manufactured, not supported by genuine ability. This is being done through digital manipulation, selective appearances, and scripted performances. There's a false image being sold, and behind the scenes, a strategic deception machine runs quietly. This is all being done while the public is conditioned to look away. It's not just a magic trick, it's a full-on production. Spirit are body doubles, lookalikes, or digital stand-ins ever used to portray the orange one during public appearances? We receive the Hierophant reversed, Knight of Swords upright, and the Ten of Wands upright. This spread is giving us a yes. The Hierophant reversed is our biggest clue. This is the card of false authority, a corrupted institution, a broken chain of command, or someone wearing the robes of power without actually being the power. When reversed, it screams imposture cloaked in official ceremony. This card is suggesting that yes, stand-ins are used, but not just for logistics or safety. This is part of a larger defiance of what's morally or spiritually right. It's deception wrapped in legitimacy. The Knight of Swords adds urgency to this. This isn't passive operation, it's all calculated. These stand-ins, whether physical or digital, are being used to advance an agenda. There's a sense of urgency and even recklessness here. Public appearances might be scheduled last minute or heavily pushed through even when the original person isn't able to show up. It's about speed, optics, and keeping the narrative alive no matter what. Then comes the Ten of Wands. This is showing us that someone is struggling under the enormous weight. This can represent the body doubles themselves or the actual orange one being asked to appear when he's clearly not well. It may also imply a rotation of helpers or handlers, with individuals or technologies picking up the slack when he can't. There's also a subtext here that even the illusion is cracking under the pressure. It's becoming harder to maintain the facade, and the burden of that lie is growing heavier. Together, the cards are letting us know that yes, body doubles, digital stand-ins, or lookalikes have been used, not just for convenience or security, but to preserve an illusion of vitality and control. This is a deliberate deception cloaked in authority. It's being pushed forward with speed and aggression, and it's becoming harder to maintain as the weight of the lie grows heavier by the day. Spirit, what is the orange one's likely spiritual, political, and karmic trajectory by the end of 2025? We receive the Eight of Wands upright, the Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Five of Cups upright, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed. This spread is violent with momentum, like a dam that's about to burst. The Eight of Wands kicks the entire sequence off with the warning, everything is speeding up from here. There's no more slow unraveling or behind the scenes maneuvering. Something significant will break open quickly, triggering a cascade of events that cannot be undone. The Seven of Pentacles reverse shows that the ground he stands on is already eroding. What was supposed to be his legacy project, perhaps a re-election attempt, a movement, or a comeback, is based on unstable foundations. The energy here feels like trying to harvest a field that was never really planted. The seeds were scattered, but they were never nurtured. The effort is collapsing under its own weight. The Five of Cups drags this downward emotionally and karmically. There's grief here, deep, private, and unfixable. This card doesn't just speak of loss, it speaks of refusal to look at what still remains. It suggests a karmic spiral of regret, mourning, and being haunted by what's already gone. Then enters the Queen of Wands reversed, and this one is layered. It could represent a woman in his orbit, possibly the woman that Spirit keeps bringing up in the readings, the one that will be responsible for exposing or accelerating his downfall. But in another layer, it could also reflect his image, a once fiery, dominant presence now consumed by ego, manipulation, and emotional instability. The performative flame burns out when the crowd stops clapping. And the Ten of Pentacles reversed is spiritual foreclosure. This is not a simple fall from grace. It's the severing of lineage, reputation, and historical placement. The house doesn't just fall apart, it gets condemned. Together, these cards are telling us that the Orange One's trajectory by the end of 2025 is a karmic landslide. We're heading into a period of rapid acceleration where failed efforts, hidden grief, and corrupted legacy collapse together. The illusions are shattering, the legacy will burn, and the House of Cards, spiritual, political, and historical, will come crumbling down. There is no restoration in his future, only reckoning. Thank you so much for watching and for being a part of this space with me, love. The energy that we read today feels like the beginning of a spiritual unraveling, a karmic reckoning that's been a long time coming. Whether you feel hopeful, heavy, or simply curious, know that you are not alone. The truth always finds a way, even if it has to break through the illusion to do it. I would love to hear your thoughts and your insights, so please drop them in the comments. If this reading sparked any new questions, feel free to leave those too. I read and appreciate every single message. As always, please remember that this reading is offered for entertainment purposes and spiritual insight only, and everything expressed is alleged. Make sure that you only take what resonates with your soul and gently release whatever doesn't. And if you're seeking personalized clarity or a deeper spiritual check-in, I offer private tarot and pendulum readings through my Etsy shop. You'll find the link in both the pinned comment and in the description below. I love you, and I appreciate you. I'll meet you in the comments.